Hello everyone, welcome back to the PHP course. In this lecture we're going to look at arrays, and specifically we're going to look at arrays function, as we had already looked at how to declare arrays, that is index arrays and associative arrays, in the data type lecture. So right now I'm just going to do a recap of what we had already looked at in declaring arrays, and I'm going to start with the index array declarations. Right here we are declaring index array fruits on line 4, which will have the following elements: apple, banana, and cherry. So for indexed arrays, they are indexed numerically, meaning this is by default starting by 0, then banana is on index 1 and cherry is on index 2. So to access apple, then I will access apple through index 0. So if I echo this statement, it will output apple. Then I can also include another element in the array. So right here we are including date to the array fruits. So we are able to include date in the array fruits, and it will include in the last index of the array. We can loop through an array using foreach. Of course, we will be looking at loops into details in the loops lecture. So right here we can loop through the fruits array as fruit. So when we echo the fruit variable, we will be able to loop through all the elements and they'll be displayed. So let me just run this script on the browser. We have apple being displayed, the first one. So remember, we tried to access apple through the first index 0. Then of course index 3 is date. Then right here we are looping through all the elements. That's why we are getting all the elements, that is apple, banana, cherry, and date. So that is what we are getting from this output fruit. So that's it for declaring index arrays. So let's now look at associative arrays. So these are arrays with custom key value pairs, and they are useful when we are storing related data. So this is an example of an associative array being declared on the user variable. So the user array will contain details of the user, including the name, email, and the age. So we can access using the keys, that is we can use the keys name or the key email or age as per the keys that we have in that specific array. So right here we are accessing name, so we should be getting John Doe as the output in this line. So we are also looping through the array, and right here we are looping through the keys and values. So we should be getting the key and its respective value as an output. So let's now run this and see these two outputs that we are getting right here. Okay, so right now we are getting John Doe as the first output. Remember, we were trying to access the element name through the index name, and we were also looping through the array using the foreach. So that's what we are getting here. So we've managed to loop through the array, and we're getting the keys together with their values. So we have the name as John Doe, the email, and the age as 30. So that's how we access and loop through the associative array. So right now we can jump into our main topic in this lecture, that is array functions. So PHP provides numerous built-in functions to manipulate arrays efficiently. So we are going to start looking at these functions, and the first function we are going to look at is the count, which returns the number of elements in an array. So let's first declare an array, that is the fruit array. So we have the fruits array containing apple, banana, and cherry. So we can apply count array function right here. So let's say echo, then count, then we can include our array here, fruits. So let's run this on our browser. So we are getting 3, so meaning we have 3 elements. So let's now look at the next array functions that we have. So we are going to look at array push. So this adds 1 or more elements to the end of an array. So let's have its use right here. So we're going to use array push. Then we are going to have the array that we want to use, that is fruits, followed by the elements that we want to add. So we can add mango, we can add date, and many more. So I'm going to close this. So let's have an output for the fruits so that we can see if we have mango and dates included. So we're going to use print r. So let me have a line break right here so that we can differentiate between the two outputs. So let's run our browser. We are able now to see that we have added more elements, that is mango and date, to our array using the array push. So that's how we can add elements to the arrays. So now let's look at another array function, that is array pop. The array pop removes and returns the last elements of an array. So we have our array as apple, banana, and cherry. So I'm going to comment out this so that we don't have mango and date, because we only want to focus on these 3 elements. So let's use the array pop right here. So let's echo array pop. So of course in the parameters we have the fruits. We can print the array right here. So let's run this and see what we are getting as the result. So we are getting cherry together with the array elements that are remaining, because remember we said the array pop removes and returns the last element of an array. So it has returned cherry. This is the returned element, and it's also the element that has been removed from the array. So the array right now we are left with apple and banana. So this can be useful if we want to remove the last element of an array. So let's move to the next array function, that is array merge. So right here we have 2 arrays, array 1 and array 2, that we want to merge them into one array. So we can do so by declaring another variable. So I'm going to call this variable result, where we're going to store the merged array. So let me use the array merge. Then we're going to add the arrays as the parameters, array 1 and array 2. So these are the arrays that we want to merge. So let's print r. So this is going to output our merged array. So we are going to output results. So let's run our script on our browser. So as you can see right now we have an array. So right here we are displaying the elements in result array. So these are the elements, and we have A, B, C, D contained in this one array. So we've successfully merged our array 1 and array 2 to result variable. So the next array functions that we're going to look at is array keys and array values. So array keys retrieves all keys from an array, while the array values retrieves all values from the array. So we have our array user with 2 keys, that is the name and email, that contains respective values. So let's start by using array keys so that we can retrieve the keys of the array user. So I'm going to use print r right here, then use array keys function. Then I'll pass the array as the parameter. the array user. So let's run this on our browser and see the output. So we have the output name and email. What this does is that it returns the keys in an array. So right now we have name and email returned as our output, and notice that these are our keys in the user array. So let's do the same with the array values to get the values in the array. So print r, then array values, then we pass the array user as the parameter. So I'm going to add a line break here. Okay, let's now run this on our browser. So notice that right now we are able to get the values that are in the array, that is John and John at example.com. So the first output, we are getting the keys in the array, while the second output, we are getting the values in the array. So the next array function we are looking at is the in array. So this checks if a value exists in an array. So right here we have array fruits containing apple, banana, and cherry. So if we want to check if a value exists in an array, so that's where we use the in array. So let's echo, then let's use in array. So this is followed by what we want to check or what we are searching. So let's say we are searching banana on fruits array. In array has two parameters, the value we are searching for and the array that it's been searched. So we are going to check it using ternary operator. We'll look at it later on in the course. If banana exists, then we should get a yes. Else, if it doesn't exist, then we should get a no. Let's run this script and see our output. So we are getting a yes because banana exists. What if we search for mango? So if we run this script again, we will get a no because mango doesn't exist in our array. So the next array functions that we are going to look at are the sorting array functions. Sorting array is a common task when we need to organize data. PHP provides multiple functions to sort arrays by values or by keys. So we'll start by looking at sorting arrays by values, and we'll look at the sort, rsort, and asort array functions. So let's start with sort and rsort. So the sort, this sorts an array in ascending order, while the rsort, it sorts an array in descending order. So we have an example of our array, that is the numbers array that contains some values. So we are going to try and sort this. So we'll have sort numbers. So this should return the array in ascending order. So let's output this, print r numbers. So we can run our script in the browser and see. So right here we are getting the numbers in ascending order, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So we can use the rsort. This will give us the reverse. So let's run our script. So right now you notice that we are starting with 8, 6, 4, 2. Rsort is giving us the reverse of sort. So we are getting the array in descending order. So now let's look at asort array function. So asort, so this sorts an array in ascending order while maintaining the key value association. So let's have an example right here. So we have our array that is edges, that contains edges of John, Jen, and Doe. So we are going to sort this using asort. So let's have our array here. Then let's print this array, print r. So let's run our script. So this is what we are getting. Notice that in asort, we are able to maintain the key value association. So we have sorted this array based on the values in ascending order, but we've also maintained the keys. So next is rsort. So rsort sorts an array in descending order while maintaining the key value association. So it's the reverse of asort. So let's have an example of rsort. So I'm just going to change this to r instead of r. So we are using rsort. So let's save this. Then let's run our script, that is arrays. So right now we are able to get the array in a descending order while still maintaining the key value association. So we are able to also see the keys in this array. So that's it for sorting by values. So right now we are going to look another set of sorting functions, that is sorting by keys. So the ksort, this sorts an array by keys in descending order. So let's get an example. So let's have our array edges right here. So we have our array edges. So this time round with ksort and ksort, we'll be sorting based on the values that we have on our keys. So right now our keys include John, Jen, and Doe. So we'll be sorting this in ascending order. So let's use ksort right here, followed by the array edges. So let's output this with a print r. So we have edges. So let's run this on our browser. So notice that right now we are sorting this in ascending order based on the keys. So D comes first before J. So it means this is sorted in ascending order alphabetically. With ksort, it's the opposite. It's the reverse of this. So let's use ksort. So we're just going to add R here. So let's use ksort. So this should return the arrays in a descending order, sorting using the keys. So let's run our browser. So notice that right now we are starting with John, then Jen, then lastly Doe. So let's now look at another set of sorting array function, that is reversing arrays. So on reversing arrays, we're going to use the array reverse function. So what this does, this reverses the order of an array elements, and it also maintains the keys if the second parameter is true. So it has two parameters. So if the second parameter is true, it will maintain the keys. But by default, the second parameter of array reverse is false. So let's have an example. So we can have our array fruits right here. Then let's use add another variable, reversed. So this variable is going to store the reversed array. So array reverse. So our first parameter is the array fruit. So let's now use only one parameter. So the second parameter is the boolean, which determines if we'll maintain the keys, but by default, if we don't assign that, it will be false. So let's use this at the moment. Then let's print r, the reverse array. So this should be fruits. So let's run this on our browser. So right now, notice that we are not getting the keys, but we are getting the values, and they are reversed. So instead of starting with apple, we are starting with cherry, banana, then apple. If we wanted to maintain the keys, we can just add the second parameter as true. So you can come here and add the second parameter as true. So let's run this. So notice that right now we are getting the initial indexes right here. So we have apple as 0, then we have banana as 1 and cherry as 2. As opposed to when we don't set the second parameter, you'll get that this is what we are having, meaning the keys are not maintained.